owning a business, starting a something, like Too Hard, Too Fast, the Carpenters Apprentice, starting a something. You got to do it and put yourself in a position, because what's going to happen is over the next 20 years, we're expecting an extra million people, right? As all these people are coming in, they're going to be bringing new money, new ideas, da-da-da-da-da. When that infusion of cash comes in, somebody's going to have to catch it. Mm-hmm. If we're not putting ourselves in a position to catch that money train that's coming our way, you know who's going to get it? The same people who have been getting it.
All right, welcome back to Too Hard, Too Fast, the podcast with strong opinions about things that we may or may not know too much about in order to broaden perspectives. Today we have
a right here. This is what I'm about.
Everybody brought a bottle. I brought a can. All right, today we have a special guest. His name is Roy, but he goes by, and you might know him by, as the Carpenters Apprentice. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to ask him what he's doing, what his goals are. So sit back, buckle up. Let's go Too Hard, Too Fast.
Right. Let's start off with what are you drinking, man? What are you drinking?
Well, I was not. I had a party last night. It wasn't like a party, but my tia and my tío came over.
Nice.
Man, I don't know if you drink with your tia and tío sometimes, but
yeah, all the time, man. Every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, New Year's, any holiday.
Those motherfuckers can drink, so they kind of wiped me out of everything else. All I had left was this half a handle of Tito's.
I hope that's gonna do the job.
Man, my recycling bin, you know when the trucks come, it sounds fucking embarrassing. I'm like, keep it down over there. You can hear clink, 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 clink. It sounds like a lottery.
That's my mother-in-law pulling in the recycling bin, and all your
Are we doing a welcome? Are we doing a drink to start the show?
Yeah.
All right. Cheers, gentlemen. I appreciate you guys having me on the program. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Cheers. Well, you got a paleta too?
Yeah.
The party was pretty good yesterday?
Oh, man, it was nice. It was, the good thing is, like, the longer you can hang in, the more drunk they get, the more you find out about the family. You start figuring out where all the fucking bodies are buried. I had no idea my family had so much drama before I was even around. Just hearing the old-timer stories, like my grandfather, he was 5 brothers, and they used to fuck with each other all the time. They would steal things from each other. They were all tradesmen, and they would, like, steal each other's tools and just fuck with each other for no good reason. I like to hear that shit.
That's basically how this podcast works. The longer we go, the drunker we get, and the better the stories and the talk gets.
That's right.
I figured y'all were going to try to do some shit like that. So I got heavy hams, heavy cheeses.
Dang, you're prepared.
Y'all ain't taking me down today.
Nice, man. Nice.
Like that, man. So, what we want to know is what's your favorite beer? Usually we give a beer review or we mentioned Dos Equis.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dos Equis?
Nothing even comes close.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What about that they got the light?
I don't think so.
No. Dang, no Rona? The beer, not the...
I'll drink it if I have to. Like, if there's no other options and I'm bored out of my mind. But that's basically where it is.
Here's the question. Dressed, lime, or just by itself?
Man, I fucking hate the way beer tastes. Even Dos Equis, I hate the way it tastes. I hate it all. So my goal is try to drink that thing as fucking fast as possible. Immediately after, I usually have, even here right now, look, I got my thing of Lucas.
Nice.
I pop a little bit right here in the old Coke corner. And just go for it.
Hey. I usually go IPA, so today I'm drinking this IPA from Free Tales. here, local San Antonio. Since you're a local guy, I stay local today. It's really good. It's a normal IPA. There's really no like flashy things about it. But if you don't like the taste of beer, then this is definitely not the beer for you.
Man, yeah. Well, I do know though that the darker beers they'll fuck me up very fast. I know that. Learn that one. That's one of those.
It's not dark, but it's a 6.8. So you'll go too hard, too fast, pretty quick.
Too hard, too fast. That's the word of the day.
That's the word of the day. Oh, there you go. Drink it up.
Hey, so since you're a native, let's do another cheers. One more right here.
Oh, this is going fast.
Yeah, man.
Hey, this is about to be a really good date.
Hey, since you're a native San Antonian, I live in West Texas though, but I'm gonna show my support for San Antonio right here, where I graduated from.
Nice.
So definitely support that.
Office of Education and Human Development.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dang, I'm surprised you were gonna read that. I'm like,
and then my favorite team right here. Boom.
So, there you go.
There you go, man. Boom.
You gotta love the Spurs. Oh, dude,
that's right, man. Hey, so there was a show or an episode you had that was really interesting. This was a year ago where there was a portrait of Kawhi. He was a graphic designer, and you were just interviewing him, and so it was cool. I mean, it wasn't disrespectful. It was just saying like, hey, thanks for what you did, but hey, you're out. It's time to move on. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, that was so crazy, man. Because that was the first time we ever got any kind of smoke happening on our page.
Oh, really?
That guy put in – that artist, somebody just started picking a fight with him in the comments. Oh, and, you guys have a show now too, so you'll understand this dilemma. But now you got – I don't want the guests to feel like disrespected, but on the other hand, drama – I can use those numbers, I mean, we're talking about we had like 200 people watching. I needed some numbers. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm going to let this shit play out. I'm going to let him go for it.
How did it play out?
The guy who was talking shit to him was fucking swole. He was a big old dude. But the artist, he ran with some crew out here. I mean, if you go by where he hangs out, he's got his goons too. So I was like, oh, fuck. But the way it ended is, I won't say who.
There was a street fight right in front of your house, a big rivalry. So you started one of the most deadly Southside fights ever.
Now, that would be a story. That's not the one I got. One of the guys called me and said, hey, can you just delete this, please? No, fuck. Wow. Yeah, that was it. I know. Corny ending.
You had to take down the whole video or what?
No, just that particular comment thread.
Okay.
And, that's so funny, too, because they could have done it themselves, right? Oh, well.
Yeah. Would you – and I guess we should tell people that what you actually do before I go into this question. You go around San Antonio, based out of the South Side, like you really do tell – and I saw this in an interview somewhere. You try to tell San Antonio's story by way of the South Side. And
that's a beautiful way to say it. I've never heard it said like that. I like the way that sounds. I try to tell the story of San Antonio by way of the South Side. Yeah, that's right. That's a very good way to say it.
I'm gonna copyright it so you can't take it.
Too hard, too fast. Too hard, too fast.
Cheers, man. Cheers. Use it. Right. No, so that's what you do, and you interview a variety of different people, in all kinds of walks of life. Through it, but this story actually, I was wondering, would you take down a video? Oh, and he's gone.
I'm here.
He got tired of your crap.
Would you ever take down a video if somebody said, "Hey, you know what? I don't like this anymore," or "I don't want to be on it"? Like, would you censor yourself?
Okay, if it's like I did a report and somebody disagreed with what I was saying, I'm not gonna take it down because of that. Even, get this. Here's a good story. I let a bunch of people have access to our Facebook, not like in a serious way, but so that they can upload content so that their stuff can get seen when, just like as a means of them being able to promote themselves. Okay. So I share access to that with some people.
We need to do that then. George, let's do that.
Hey, for sure, yeah. And you know what? I tell people like, just put, I want people like content creators to be able to get some exposure, because when we were starting, fucking nobody would help us. Even on Reddit, I remember posting our shit and they banned me from being able to post anything anymore.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, oh, are you serious? So I just, it's hard out there. I get it. It's hard out here for a pimp.
Because I usually
I feel your pain, man. I feel your pain.
I usually tell people like while we're interviewing them, like, if you say something that you're not comfortable with, tell me right there, because once I start editing, it's a done deal, man.
Yeah, I think there have been people like that. Oh, there actually has been one instance. I interviewed a politician, and the politician looked like shit compared to their opponent. And this is a good person. I like that politician personally, but fuck, they fucking ate it. It was terrible. And they had asked me to remove it, and I agreed. I was like, yeah, I don't think so. But that's just like decent shit. Look, if I have a video up, or if somebody puts up some kind of video and I'm in it and I want them to take it down later, I would hope they would. I don't, for whatever reason, I hope they respect my request. So for the most part, so long as somebody's in it, and like, if they're half of it, then yeah, I guess there would be some leeway there. But my first instinct is to tell you to, like, no, I don't think I should give up anything.
Yeah, especially if you didn't maliciously make them look bad, which from all the videos I've seen, you go from start to finish, like you said earlier, off camera. You go start to finish, no edits. You just put it out there. Mm-hmm. So I don't think there's any like malicious intent. So I think, hey,
you get the full story,
What's that?
You, the viewer, gets to see the whole thing. I don't hide nothing from you.
Yeah, that's what I like.
We had a lot from the people. Hey, so just to back up a little bit, so you were born and raised in San Antonio, though, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where your heart comes from?
In the Southside, yeah.
In the Southside? Mm-hmm. Nice, awesome. And then I know you were talking about politics. So you actually ran for city council yourself, though, right?
Yeah, I did, out here in San Antonio, in the Southside.
In the Southside? What inspired you to do that?
Dude, that's a weird story, because like I was just a strange kid. I had kind of a vision or whatever of what I thought I should do with my life pretty young, like weirdly young, like 9 or 10. And at about age 12 or 13, I got a notebook and I decided to like seriously draw out what I thought the next whatever amount of time for my life should look like and how I should get there. And so I put down like 13 goals for myself and then a little plan on how to get there. Obviously, it was adapted. The 13-year-old version didn't. That wasn't what I stuck to exactly like that. But yeah, it was a pretty good like basic outline of what I wanted to do and how I thought I could be useful in the world. And the last thing on that list, the last goal that I could foresee in my head was I should run for city council. That would be the ultimate culmination of everything. So that's not like there was only like one issue that really drove me to it. But the thing is, I was on a collision course for that spot. I was going to try at some point. That was just going to be, there was nothing that could have stopped me. I was just going to try to do that at some point. So I got it out of the way pretty early.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So I'm sure
the one issue though, maybe I should tell you that one thing that did get me, like, it would do something. Like the one thing that I guess impacted me during that thing, or that made me think like, okay, even though I was going to do this anyways, oh shit, these people really need a fighter. This was the first inkling of like, we should help out the people who are the most vulnerable, because it really will save our ass laters too. Was on Mission Road here in the Southside, there was a trailer park. Over 300 families were displaced and taken out of that trailer park to make room for these new high-rise condos that are just down the street from you, right? Like in this very neighborhood. It was the largest displacement of Texas families, period, in history of Texas. And it was just something crazy to see that, like, developers can really own your shit. They can just, that's it. You're done. You're out. So that thing kind of still haunts me, because I passed by the new condominium, and the thing is, it's beautiful and it looks fun. But fuck, they got rid of those other guys. And so then I'm starting to think, well, that was them a couple of years ago. How long until they come for me next?
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Yeah. Off my soapbox.
Well, no, that's a good topic, because I see it right now in different places in San Antonio. Like, here's I don't know if I said it on the podcast before, but what I think is happening to the West Side, and Worm and I, we went to school on the West Side, Our Lady of the Lake. So we now when we pass by it and we're driving through or going to a restaurant on this side, we see there's so many changes. Like it's starting to look what you will call hipstery. It's starting to have different new buildings that, it doesn't lend itself to what the culture of the West Side really is. And all I'm thinking is, they're getting ready to push out these people. Like the downtown is building forward or building on, and they're getting ready to push out these people, which most of them are older people or people living with like socio-economic or lower socio-economic status, I guess you can say. So
it's happening on all three of the majority areas of town: the north, the east, and the west. Sorry, not the north, the east, the west, and the south. And the north side has been. They already done fucked up their shit. Look, they were white to begin with. They were never. They was never gonna go. Let me try to cut the bullshit here. But now, I mean, you see it all over the place. And the thing is, the goal is to get us out of here. So they want San Antonio to be a suburb, a suburb of Austin, right? So they just want us to be able to house the new tech jobs that are coming there, the new fancy things that are going to that area. They don't care about us. They never have, right? Like, even when it was the native people in these lands, they didn't care then. They don't care now. So it's going to be up to us to defend our turf. And that is way hard, as it turns out.
So how would someone, or how would a people come and defend themselves against that when you have government, corporations? I mean, they're just...
Well, I think what they do also, like, before you answer that, what I see is happening, I could be wrong, and this is too hard to pass, we don't check facts, but I feel like they sell us a mindset of like, new innovations and new jobs, and this is going to be great for San Antonio and the people of San Antonio. But when you realize, when you have too much industry, eventually it just turns out to be way too expensive to live here. These tech people or these industries don't have any roots here, so they don't have a need to stay here if they're not making it.
They don't love us.
Exactly.
Get out of town, Jack. No. Exactly. And, yes, you're right. They sell us a bill of goods, and oftentimes they don't even sell us the community. So if a developer comes in and they want to develop something, there is a sweet talking process that happens. I don't know if you guys have – wait. Before I even get into that, this is very important, because earlier you had asked, what are the keys to being able to fight this? How do people actually fight back? Ownership is everything. Ownership of land, ownership of a business, ownership of who you are in your cultural identity as a neighborhood. You have to own those things. So when possible, now this is owning land, that's hard. It's a very, very big mountain to climb for a lot of people. It'll be the hardest thing some people do their whole lives. And if you're lucky to do it, right? Some people even have to live like rent to rent, check to check like that. And it's even like harder. But if by some miracle you can get some kind of land, that is the beginning. You got to be able to have more of that, because then that'll give us, we'll have a say in the matter just because we're fucking here. What are you going to do? You can't move us. Now, they'll try to do it through property taxes, but there's a couple of things like, it's not as easy as a bumper sticker to tell you how to utilize those things. So that's like way more in depth, but ownership is everything. If you cannot at the moment buy property in some kind of way in the area of town that you love or your community, then owning a business, starting a something, like Too Hard, Too Fast, the Carpenters Apprentice, starting a something. You got to do it and put yourself in a position, because what's going to happen is over the next 20 years, we're expecting an extra 1 million people, right? As all these people are coming in, they're going to be bringing new money, new ideas, When that infusion of cash comes in, somebody's going to have to catch it. Mm-hmm. If we're not putting ourselves in a position to catch that money train that's coming our way, you know who's going to get it? The same people who have been getting it. Yeah. Corporate interest, folks who we will never fucking see, people in LA and California and New York and all these fucking jumble fucks. and they're just not from here. So we have to create businesses of all kinds. You know, I'm talking everything from like carpentry, surveying, fucking button makers, shit like that. Just wild stuff. Start your business because that's going to inoculate us to some degree from other people being able to come in. How are they going to provide a service better than you would if you're here on the ground? You're going to have that kind of relationship with the people that will make us stronger as a unit. I think also making sure that you're talking to the people around you, like your community, your neighbors. It's harder to take people out when there's communication amongst the people.
When there's unity.
Yeah, not necessarily even unity, because it's hard to get that on a lot of issues. But just if y'all are all talking, okay, at least everyone's got the same facts. What happens when the developers come in? They're going to divide and conquer in some way. Somebody's going to get a little bit of this, somebody's going to get a little bit of that, but you need to all be communicated so that at least the facts are clear. From there, disagree, whatever, but the facts need to all be lining up.
So would you ever consider running again, whether it be city council or mayor or maybe something else?
Yeah, for sure. But I love titties and weed, man. It's a real,
Hey, bro, so I don't know if you know that I'm from El Paso, and so did Beto O'Rourke, bro. So there you go.
Yeah, but look at Beto now.
Yeah.
He's trying to fuck Beto now. No, I God bless him. I'm sure.
No, but
it gets slippery where he walks, I'm sure.
Maybe by the time that you decide to run again, there's a better outlook on weed and
it'll be legalized. And
you know what, man? If there was a way that I could run and not stop, that's the thing is people really think politicians are like little deities or something. It's crazy. These are just people, and we're all fucked up in some kind of way. But, they expect politicians to be these perfect, immaculate beings. I think if there was a way that I could run and not have that kind of
be yourself still, right?
Hey, thanks. Yeah, be myself still. I think that would be better.
Hey, so for someone who does pursue something like that, and let's say they end up losing, so I'm sure it was a tough loss. Like, how did you cope with that, and how did you just rebound, and what did you do to move on?
Well, I didn't really cope with it very well because I was not accustomed to losing. So that was like, I guess, you know what I thought, man? I was saying to myself, like, here I tried it the right way, and, it didn't fucking work. So fuck it. I wanted to be bad anyways. I was like, I liked the darker zones of things that you weren't really supposed to be fucking with. It seemed pretty tempting to me. So the very night I lost, I went straight to the titty bar, and I was like, I'm getting fucked up. We're going to party immediately. And I was like, the chains are loose. Remember, I had written this fucking compact with myself when I was like 13 that I was going to do this. So it was a very, very good document to guide me forward, but almost like a prison in some ways, because now I had determined my destiny, So I did. As soon as I busted out, I feel like I busted out, brother. I went for it. I went to, 2 days after the election, I went out to Miami, licked my wounds on the beach. It was a nice place to lick your wounds, brother.
You did what you wanted to do for 13-year-old you.
Yeah.
Like, what's next? Like, at that point, is there a point of like...
I would just... The best way to describe that is just adrift. You remember in Anchorman when he stops being the anchor and he's all disheveled? That's exactly what it felt like. It felt like real life that.
Wow.
And I remember thinking like, what the fuck am I going to do next? And the problem was I had started already being necio. So the clock was ticking for me. And one day, so I would do all kinds of shit. But one of my favorite things I could get a little rush from was to go jack some shit. And I'm not talking like, it would be like medium range stuff, in the $100 to like $500 range. Not, well, I guess that's expensive, but I don't know. But that's where it felt to me like the stakes were were such that I wanted to roll them dice. You know what I mean? So I was doing that, and honestly, man, I had a nice little. You only do it if it's working. Right. But one time it fucking did it.
And that's all it takes.
One time. Yeah, all it takes is one time. So I actually had a plan. Like when they Well, everybody has a plan until they get till the shackles come out. So my plan was, if you were undocumented at that time, you could just wait it out and they would turn you loose. So I was like, I'm just going to fucking wait it out. I won't tell them who I am. I've never been in the system. So maybe I won't be in there, you know? Well, that's not how anything fucking works. So I just made like a lot of mess for myself. Getting arrested for theft, that was like, ooh, once you got that scarlet letter, I said, people already know politicians ain't shit. Now I'm going to tell them I am a, for real, convicted thief, and I want to be your political voice too. It just is like, I said, I don't think they're going to let me back in politics, man. I better figure out a new line of work. Well, I actually did. I did bumfuck for like 2 years. Like, seriously, nothing. My life went to like totally complete halt, just working odd jobs and doing a little to get by here, a little to get by there, and whatever I had to do to stay high, for sure. Just not living. I don't know how to explain it. It's life in a way, but it's not even, I don't know. If some people I think will understand this feeling. It's just like fucking nothing.
Around what age do you think was this going on?
It's hard, things kind of fuzzy, but I don't know. I'm 28 now, so I don't know, maybe like 23 to 25, 26.
Dang, what time did you run for city council? 15?
At 22, I think.
I just like college or what? Because you went to school, right?
I went to William Penn University out in Iowa, and I was there for 2 years. And then I got a call from an old friend of mine to work on the Obama campaign in Miami. And since I was all about politics, I really enjoy this stuff. Oh man, that was like, dude, working on a presidential campaign in fucking Miami? Are you kidding me? I don't know what else that's everything. That's like, whoa, big time. That's battleground state, battleground city on the highest level. So I had to fucking go chase that. I had to see what that was about. So I dipped from school. I went to go do that. And then once I did that, I figured out I was like, well, what am I going to go back to school for? I just learned what I needed to know. Yeah. And I'm going to take this and go use it. I'm going to go hustle something up. I wasn't going to be a fucking botanist. I had another kind of plan. I was knowing either it was going to be politics, or I knew I couldn't fucking work for nobody. I can't act right when somebody just starts telling me what to do. So I just knew I knew I was going to hustle something up. I just knew it already. I didn't count on. I could not have imagined, and it's no disrespect and no offense to anybody who does hard work every day and puts in those hours, those 40 hours a week for the man.
Offend them, bro.
Hey, it's hard. That's hard shit. But I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I hear people talk about it like, hey, they're going to let us out 30 minutes early on Friday. And they're like fucking stoked. That made their week, man. And that shit, I can't do that. I don't want that to be my life. Maybe it will be one day, and I'm going to look back on this and be like, God damn, remember when you had hope? But I'm going to keep fighting, man. I'm going to keep fighting. Just try. Why not?
So what breaks you out of that bumming phase, or what makes you think of what you're doing now?
I think there comes a moment. The moment came for me. Let me say it this way. The moment came for me where I just fucking looked at everything, man. And it was like a moment of sobriety and clarity where just me and God. And I had already destroyed everything to this point. The relationships I loved, a lot of my assets, I had just depleted them in pursuit of some kind of feeling. You know what I mean? So basically I'm at 0, 0, 0, and I'm looking at, okay, either I'm going to keep doing this shit and just, I knew I was going to hit a wall, jail, or a funeral. So I didn't want that. I knew I didn't want that. And I knew I was good still. That even though I had done a lot of bad stuff, that I had good in there. I felt it sometimes, like, yeah, I don't know. It was weird. I just knew. I still knew I was good. Like I was salvageable, I thought. I was hoping.
There was something there for you that you haven't realized yet.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, this is going to be hard. And the first thing I had to do was turn myself in, go get straight with the law. And that was going to be the hardest part because it was like, I don't know if they were going to – I had run out on my probation. So it was 6 months If they caught you, it's 6 months off the bat. You don't get to fuck around.
Yeah.
So dude, honestly, it wasn't, I didn't even go straight to the law part. Like there's a part where I had to just straighten up myself, but I just remember making the decision. Like I had heard Robert Downey Jr. on Oprah. So I loved interviews, period, my whole life. I've loved them. And so I would watch Oprah interviews on my phone at night. And she had one with Robert Downey Jr. And I had remembered Googling like actors who fucked up so that I could see if there was a turnaround plan of somebody else used. And he said, the hardest part about changing your life is deciding to do it. He goes, doing it is the easy part, but making the decision, selling yourself on it is the hardest part. And something about it woke me up, man. I was like, that's right. Like, all right, I can make it. I can come back out of this. I think there's a way. And it's shit, man. It was humiliating in every possible regard. Still is sometimes, when I see people I've wronged or have to go back and try to make amends in these things. But fuck it, man. What are we gonna do? Give up? And that's it. I just didn't like my life, man. It was just not good. Like, I don't know. It just was terrible. So anything I thought was better than that. And dude, I would honestly at that moment had somebody come in and given me any of the opportunities that I was trying to get. Like I applied at different spots. I tried to do this, tried to do that. And I ran into every fucking closed door you could ever imagine. And it was so infuriating because I was thinking, like, God damn it, here I am trying to fucking get back. And everybody is closing every door that I see that's open to other people. And they're telling me that I'm not like, I don't fit the requirement. It's this, that, and the other. And I'm thinking like, God damn, how can I not? But now I look back and I say, thank God these people did not let me in. I would have ended up being like a corporate animal or something.
Yeah. Or you would have messed up the opportunity.
That's very much more likely.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you made that decision then to better your life, right?
Yeah.
So what you're trying to tell us is you're the next Iron Man. Is that what you're trying to tell?
Sounds about right. Yeah, it sounds about right.
Hey, well,
want to be Iron Man, dude.
Now we're changing ourselves. I think it's time for another cheers. Let's bring the story back.
Cheers.
Oh man, sorry to be a bummer. I feel like I killed the mood there.
No, man.
So through all that though, eventually came across starting the Carpenters Apprentice. Then is that correct?
Yeah.
All that.
Well, the Carpenters Apprentice didn't start like this though with the interviews and stuff. It started on YouTube. You guys are on YouTube too. We started on YouTube and we were doing cannabis wrap reviews. So we would review like raw wraps, white owls, those kinds of things, king palms. We would tell you how much cannabis went in it, or flour, I should say flour. How much flour went in it, how long it burned, how many people were in the rotation. And we'd tell you like the quality of the smoke, the taste, these kinds of things. So that was like almost a whole year of just that. That was all I was putting out. Maybe 6 months, maybe not a whole year. And then get this, man, the Carpenters Apprentice. So the interview aspect of all of this, Dab CBD Hemp Cafe had just opened up.
Hey, going back to weed though, man, what can we do as a people, as a state, to get it legalized here in Texas, man? I've been waiting for way too long.
I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I think the Republicans know something's up. Here's the thing. They're going to want to make it so that 5 people who are all big donors are the only ones who can sell weed in all of Texas.
Yeah.
And I think they're waiting to see if they can come up with a system that will allow their friends to hold this duopoly on us. And that's my hunch. But I also think we're going to hit a hell of a deficit crisis because we just aren't going to have as much money because of COVID coming into the coffers. So now we're going to have to find a way to make up that money. To me, weed is a no-brainer.
It's legalized.
We can generate billions in revenue.
That's right.
Billions.
And people are staying home, so perfect opportunity, right? Sure.
Dude, perfect. We went to Colorado as soon as this whole lockdown shit started. As soon as it started, I said, you know what? If this is the end of the world, I at least want to be smoking right.
There you go, bro. There you go.
So we popped out to Colorado. Dude, it was, you know what? It's such a much more enjoyable experience, this whole quarantine shit. I don't see nobody fighting about masks over there. Who gives a fuck? Put on the mask.
Slow down, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'll hot box in my mask.
Hey, but you know what? One thing you can do, number one, fucking vote. If you're not voting, fucking vote. This is so basic, just vote. Because if you do that, that already gives you like, okay, you're already more powerful than 50% of the population in the eyes of a politician because you you can even go to the fucking party. So registering to vote is important. The deadline is October 5th. So if you guys haven't registered to vote, you should do it. Too hard, too fast, for good.
All right.
Hey, man, so I need some stuff fixed in my house. So as a carpenter, is there any advice you could give me, or what are your rates, or?
No rates. Can't hire me. I don't go do nothing at nobody's house anymore. You know why? You go do something at somebody's house. It's never as easy as you think. Never.
Yeah. It's true.
You could say, oh, all we got to do is sand this, stain it real quick, or cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, hang it up. If you got to hang up some shit, get out of town, Jack. That's too much. It's like a nightmare. And then you're like trying to be, or I was trying to at least act somewhat professionally. This is my family's business. So I'm trying to act professional and shit, but you're getting frustrated and it's not good. It's not good. But good news is you can learn how to do most things yourself with YouTube and better tools. Like I know, okay, how should I say this? Basically, the tools do a lot of the stuff. Tools and machinery will get you really, really far. Just figure out what it is that you're trying to do and what tools you can use to make your life easier. Don't cheap out on those tools.
So you're like a real carpenter?
No. An apprentice is probably the most accurate way to describe it, but not even that because I'm not with the union.
But, now I think my mind just got blown completely out of the water because I was thinking, you calling yourself the Carpenters Apprentice, and when you were telling me how your YouTube got started with the weed, I was like, how does this tie into Carpenter Apprentice? Like, how does this work? Like, is he a real carpenter or he does carpentry? Or is this religion?
So many people tell me that. Well, okay, Carpenter's Apprentice as a name, I wanted it to be an homage to God in some way.
Oh, nice.
I wanted him to be included on the journey. So I tried to think of a way to incorporate that. I just so happened to be in a Carpenter's Apprentice, but it's not really a usual idea to name that your show, But who gives a fuck? I mean, you can name your show whatever you want. It's yours.
It's true. I like the name, though. It's cool. I like it.
Everybody, when we started Too Hard, Too Fast, that it was going to be like some porn thing.
That's not what we do.
I was also told this was a porn thing, and it was going to be two hot blondes. And here I am with you two.
That's what you can dress for the occasion.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to act right.
No, yeah, so that's funny because I really, like, when I first started watching you, I was like, oh, this is like a religion thing, Jesus.
Yeah, most people think the religious thing.
So I was trying to find the connection while you were telling me how you started your YouTube. And that's funny that you actually were, studying carpentry and knew it, but then now you just found it how to mix it. That makes the story even better.
Yeah, that's so crazy to me that I guess because I know I'm a carpenter, it's crazy to me that other people don't. But I already know me,
I think so the name Carpenter Apprentice, okay, so because you really were a Carpenter Apprentice, but it's also a way to incorporate God, so it's both of those things, man.
Well, there's another half to that too, though.
Oh, really? Let's hear it.
The apprentice part. This is problematic now because Donald Trump's a problematic guy. But I fucking love the Apprentice and Celebrity Apprentice. I loved it. Nice. I thought it was a dope-ass show. Awesome. I really enjoy it. So I was like, it would be cool. And I was like, and that was a hit show. I said, so they must have known something with the name, I said, okay, we're getting close.
Nice.
Well, I think.
Cool, so it has multiple meanings then, right? Dang.
I think for
specifically, those are like the exact two things that I was thinking of when I was sitting there and I came up with the name. Those are the two things that I was like, well, this is my favorite show. This is my favorite person in the whole world. God, not Trump.
Hey man, so the Carpenter's Apprentice, so in a way were you able to make this into like a full-time job?
Yes, pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID. Oh, dang.
Pre-COVID, we were able to do this for a couple of months. Totally support myself just by the show alone.
Oh.
We're kind of getting back to a place where Business is picking up a little bit more, but most of our advertisers were small businesses, still are. And just that, dude, everybody's trying to fucking survive right now. People didn't even know if they were going to be able to even exist as a company. Some places are having to make some really, really tough moves. And they're fucking, some of them are really outstanding at it, but they don't have the extra capacity right now, a lot of them. Some of them do, and for those, we're grateful, the ones that are still coming through with us, but fuck, when it went from like everybody being in a season of plenty to everything stopped, period. Who had money to be thrown around like that?
Yeah, I think that's what we're finding out right now with the podcast, because we had a couple of breweries that were like local San Antonio and say, hey, we like what you do, like what you're talking about, but we like that you do that drink review.
There's a season of opportunity coming up, and there will be ways to capitalize on it for people who are in the game, but just refine your messaging. And more than anything, I mean, that's the thing with these advertising deals. It's all relationship building. I mean, you might think it's this, that, and the other. Of course, you got to show some kind of numbers and stats back. I'm speaking when you're talking about person to person, not Amazon and Google and all this shit.
Right.
But person to person, that's all relationship building. They need to be able to trust you. They need to know, like, even if you fuck up somehow, like if the numbers aren't good, that you're going to make it right somehow. You're going to find a way to put them good.
That's awesome.
And,
hey, now that I think about it too, in your show, because you actually have the Carpenters, I guess, like outfit, and I wondered if you just had bought that because of the show, or if that was, or if you've had that press. I guess you had that even before you started the show, then, right?
Yeah. I was doing carpentry for a while before we started the show, but I like that fucking get up
Yeah, man, it's cool.
The overalls. I saw this guy Holmes. Y'all ever seen him on HGTV or something? Holmes on Holmes.
No.
Well, anyways, he wears those overalls, and I was like, "Fuck, those look dope." One day, I would love to do that and wear that. And then I realized, like, well, you don't have to have, like, you can just buy some and wear them. I don't know why it took me so long to like put that together, but
they had to be handed to you as a
they got to be passed down.
That's funny.
Yeah, I saw some at a garage sale one day, so I got those, and it was good.
Nice. Hey, man, one thing I do like about your show, though, is, you try to inspire people, or you've told people, it's people need to tell their own story. Don't let others, especially if they're outside, don't let them tell your story. So I really like that. How do you feel about a guy who's living in West Texas telling the San Antonio story? You cool with that?
No, I don't love it. But there's going to be a place for everybody. Look, if you guys aren't here, we're not going to sharpen up.
I want to go back to San Antonio. I'm trying to.
I'm here in San Antonio, man.
No, for sure. I think that San Antonians need to step up to the plate. And because I talk to so many people, probably you guys do too, now that you have your own show. And they tell you, I want to start a podcast, I want to do this, I want to do that. Well, what the fuck? Like, there is literally no barrier to entry. You just, having a phone, I guess, and an account on the internet. So some way to access it. Yeah, but even without the mic, we were doing it micless in the beginning or we went to the library, and at the library you can check one out, and that was free.
Oh, wow.
At the UTSA library, actually.
There we go, man.
But that was a hustle too. I had to go around the way. I'm not a UTSA student.
We're there for the community.
Yeah.
Let's focus on the Carpenters Apprentice now. Like, okay, so it was a hustle for you. What is it now for you? Like, what is you going out to the interview?
Well, in a way, though, I should make this clear that it wasn't just a hustle for me. Like, when we started up, I recognized that I wanted back in. I wanted back in the game.
All right, guys, that's it for part one with the Carpenter's Apprentice. We're going all over the place. We're listening to his story of how he came to be the Carpenter's Apprentice, his mistakes, our mistakes. We're learning from each other, and then we're also going to deep dive in a lot of things. So come back for part two.
Oh, my gosh. Part two, man. I can't believe that you're doing this to him. Part two, how drunk y'all let me get for part two. The things y'all said, it was something. I just can't wait for them to see it. That was crazy.
Right.
I've never seen two men interact that way before. That was something beautiful. Y'all are in for a treat.
This time, 3 men.
You know, when you say it like that, but I thought at some point we all became one.
There you go.
We all became one. Check it out for part 2. Ooh. The Carpenters Apprentice, you can find them on Instagram. Give us your Instagram.
On Instagram, you can find us at tc.apprentice. On Facebook or YouTube, you can find us under The Carpenters Apprentice.
All right, with that said, remember, dare to be you, dare to be weird. Worm, what are you going to say?
Go listen to the Carpenter Apprentice. He's legit. Southside.
Come back for part 2. We'll see you guys next time on Thursday. Bye.